buying the cabinet itself, which is a bar top styled cabinet. I also bought the official riser. Both came in 2 separate packages. While the bar top is plug and play, from the moment you open the box, the riser needs to be put together manually. If you ever bought something from IKEA, then this will be the simplest construction you have ever done. And if you said yes for ever buying stuff at IKEA, then you'll know that their instruction manuals are very simple and clear. This manual for the riser, however, is not. I chose to ignore the manual and do this with my own insight. I finished the square base to place the MVSX itself on top of it. In order to keep it in place, it needs to be screwed and attached to the riser, so it doesn't fall off while gaming. It's time to put the final piece of plywood of the riser in place. I chose to do this manually, as using a power drill might overdo it when using too much force, with the risk of splitting the wooden panels. To keep the clean look, the manufacturer NEOGEO has supplied these red plastic dots to cover up the screw holes. These fucking suck, and you can't just pop these in here. So I opted to use my trusty rubber hammer to apply some gentle force. As I'm showing here, the cabinet itself is a bit wobbly, which is logic, because the riser itself is hollow on the inside. The only thing that has some weight to it is the bar top unit, weighing around 17 kilograms. So the next day I popped out those red dots again, opened up the front panel, and opted to apply some weight on the inside. You know, like an official arcade cabinet from 30 years ago. I did choose to use a power drill this time, but made sure I used little force. I placed in a towel on the inside floor so the panel doesn't sustain damage. I tried 2 heavy garden tiles, but that wasn't enough. I went downstairs and got 2 more. And with 4 garden tiles, the cabinet was feeling like an old school cabinet. And thus, I closed it up once more and voila, no more wobbling. Now if you've ever been close up to an arcade machine, you'd notice that these things are huge. This MVSX is not. It's a lot smaller than regular arcade machines, and even smaller than the original NEOGEO cabinet. But hey, it also doesn't have a heavy CRT display inside and a huge motherboard with an oversized cartridge. It's just a crisp LCD screen and inside a simple PCB. I am not going to show you how this thing looks on the inside. There are other YouTubers who did this already, and I just want to tell you my honest opinion on the product itself. Some people have complained, mainly on Amazon, that the finishing looks of this thing is of poor quality. I contest that. These people must have had a bad batch, because mine was brand new and had protective foil all over the place. There's no shit quality here. It's top notch when it comes to its looks, build quality and finish. When you pop on the machine on the back with a simple round switch, the marquee pops on. Now I have some minor complaint about the print quality of the marquee. It's not in the highest resolution, as these game covers are a bit grainy up close. Still not a deal breaker, but I had to mention it. Many people have complained about the buttons, and man, these people are spot on. These buttons are fucking terrible. If you are used to playing on arcade cabinets with Hap or Sanwa buttons, then these will feel like a joke. There's a big however though. See, you can compare these to a rubber dome keyboard and a mechanical one for reference. They aren't the worst out there, but they do get worse if you tap on them for a long period. Playing on this cabinet for half an hour feels like a strain on your fingers, and they are mushy. The stick feels alright, I have absolutely no problems with that. Maybe I'll exchange these buttons in the near future for Hap ones. If you aren't a frequent arcade player, then I guess you won't notice anything about these buttons. On the back you'll find a power port and a USB entrance. I have a USB stick inserted here, and I'll show you why later on. Now I have watched a lot of videos on the MVSX when it first came out, and no one ever mentioned the following. When you boot up the machine, you are greeted with this screen. This is the operating system. In my opinion, this is one of the worst operating systems when it comes to UI design I have seen in a long time. There are 50 games installed on here, with the latter being fighting games, and like 15 other NEOGEO